What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I got to have that Teege pack. Teege makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Teege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Teege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Teege Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Teege pack. Feel the Teege, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tapping into the Millionaire Morning Show. This is your host, Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I'm very thankful. They're very thankful and appreciative to be sitting here having a conversation with you guys tonight. So it is Tuesday, January 24th, 2022. And I've been quite busy closing out on deals, quite busy making sure that I take care of business, quite busy catching flights back and forth. I almost thought that I had to take a day trip today in order to make sure that certain businesses and certain deals are taken care of. And so just to be sure, I went ahead and pivoted from having a Millionaire Morning Show this morning into having a Millionaire Evening Show. So without further ado, I have not live streamed on this channel in quite a long time. For those of you that are early supporters of me and this channel, you know that this channel started off as After Hours. After Hours with Anton Daniels. What up, Raw B? I'm about to read the super chats. Actually, I'm about to tap into the chat in 1 second. But for those of you that have not been familiar or rocking with us since the very beginning, back when we was at 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 subscribers on this channel specifically, because if you know, you know, we was After Hours with Anton Daniels, and we was talking about some wild subjects because the Anton Daniels channel was more like a vlog, right? It was the thing that I was still using from a corporate perspective in order to continue to market myself to go up higher in corporate America, right? And so while I was trying to figure out what it was that I really wanted to do with that channel, I knew I still wanted to blog. I knew I still wanted to go into different things. I still had businesses open that I were in the process of getting out of, and I didn't want those businesses to be affected by what it was that we was doing over on After Hours. So I created After Hours for me to actually be able to deep dive into the stuff that I really wanted to talk about, which was popular culture and how it comes back to the money. And then we moved the show to the morning time to be the Millionaire Morning Show, and then it just did what it did from there. So don't be afraid to pivot and make adjustments and change and evolve and continue to grow by stepping outside of your comfort zone to do something completely different every now and again, and then test the waters and then see how it rolls out. And then if it don't work out, then you make the adjustments and then you continue to grow, right? Because you didn't fail. You only figured out how to do things more effectively or what didn't work and how it is that you can make adjustments. A lot of people think that failure is not making a whole lot of money and all of that. Samuel L. Jackson, for example, I heard this. Somebody said this the other day. Samuel L. Jackson didn't even start acting until he was like 40 years old. Ain't that crazy? Samuel L. Jackson didn't even start acting until he was like 40 years old. And so, I've always looked at my life as one big evolution. And I'm going to be a completely different person next year than I am this year. Hopefully better, certainly wiser, and then absolutely going to be still rocking out with y'all, my bag chasers and the people that's in the streets. So what's going on, friends and family? Let me tap into the chat and see what's happening. First and foremost, I got to give love to the people that support the platform with the super chats, the cash apps, all of that. Raw B is in the building. Raw B says, Anton thirst trapping. Enjoyed you last night with Q. I enjoyed you last night also. I was looking at y'all as I was falling asleep because I thought I had to take an early morning flight this morning. But shout out to Raw B. I love you. You was over there talking your talk, Raw B, on the Anton Daniels show with Q. Alvin S., I appreciate you also, my friend. Says, blessings, AD, my offering for the Tuesday night service. Yeah, we're going to pivot a little bit today. Just today only. Tomorrow morning, we're going to get back to the regular morning show. But I wanted to make sure that I tapped in with y'all because I actually like live streaming. To be honest with you, if we being 100% transparent, because I actually just had a video that I released 6 days ago. It wasn't even a video, it was a clip. I had a clip that I released 6 days ago on the Anton Daniels channel. And we're going to get into this whole Umar Johnson thing. We're going to get straight into it. We're not going to do no stories before it or none of that. But I had a clip that I released on the Anton Daniels channel 6 days ago, and it already did 1 million views. Not a 2-minute video, not a 3-minute video, an 8-minute clip of a much, much bigger interview that I dropped inside of the Patreon. So my bag chasers already got it. And I got another video in queue to release tonight on the Patreon for all of my bag chasers. And there is no clips that's even available on YouTube of it. So I got the next Charleston White, me and Charleston White podcast, completely uncensored, 2 hours. It is being released tonight. It is already queued up. And there is no clips on YouTube of it. The only place that you're going to be able to get it is inside of the Patreon. So that link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. But I had a clip that I released 6 days ago, and me and Charleston was talking about it, and it already did 1 million views. And it's my second 1 million view video on that channel. My first 1 million view video was a gambling video that I released, and that did 1.7 million views. But in 6 days, we did 1 million views. So me and Charleston have a phenomenal partnership. From a business perspective, it's beautiful. From a financial perspective, it's beautiful. And from a friendship perspective, it works for both of us. And we're both benefiting from it. We're both happy. And this is what happens when you do good business amongst black people. It is possible. It is possible for everybody to benefit that's involved, both financially, both as a friendship. You can do business with your friends. As a matter of fact, the friends that I have that's the most loyal are the ones that I went into business with first, and then we turned into a friendship just based off of the fact that I really, really rocked with them. And I have to also thank you guys. Let me say that also, because Charleston White, to be honest with you, wasn't on my radar, and you guys are the ones that said, Anton, I want to see what the interaction is going to be between y'all. And we do have a unique partnership and friendship that we rock out with. So shout out to C. I was talking to him earlier, and I was giving him his props. Obviously, he about to be back in Detroit very soon because Detroit is his second home. And shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys that, again, I'm not so arrogant that I can't listen to the people that support me the most, because I think that you guys give me the most insight and wisdom as to the direction that we're supposed to be going in with all of these channels. So I got to shout out to y'all. I got to shout out to him, and I got to shout out to everybody that's involved in my life, because you guys bring so much value to me. Let me check into the chat and see what's going on. Tap In Production says, what's your opinion on HELOC versus refinancing? Which is the better option? I believe, well, it depends on what you need it for, right? What are you using a HELOC or the refinance for? Because it also matters the time by which you go about doing it. Chances are, if you're looking to refinance now, you already have a better rate than what you're going to get from the mortgage companies today, right? And I just paid off my last mortgage, which was $163,000. I just literally wired that over because I got the payoff quote and I wired that over. So every single property that I own is 100% owned by me. I still got to pay the property taxes, still got to pay the insurance, but it's 100% owned by me. Let me answer some of y'all questions, and then we're going to get into the show with the Umar Johnson black tax thing. Chances are that you already have a better rate than you're going to refinance for. What you're trying to do at this point is actually pull the money out of the property for whatever reason. I'm assuming that you're trying to pull the money out of the property so you can buy another property, because if you're trying to pull the money out of the property for anything other than reinvesting, you are making a very bad decision. Let me say that one more time. If you're trying to pull the equity out of the property so that you can support a lifestyle, take a gamble on something else, or open up a business, I'm telling you that you're making a mistake. So the first thing that you have to do is you need to count the cost, right? The true cost of what it's going to cost you is all of the fees in addition to the equity that you're pulling out, which is going to lower your net worth because you then don't have that much more as an asset, because an asset, the equity that you have in a property is what contributes to your net worth. But then also your HELOC. A HELOC is literally just a home equity loan. It's a line of credit that you're using your home as collateral for. So I don't think either one of them is good. Unless you're using the HELOC to improve the property so that you can then do something else with it, sell it, use it as an investment property, move some people in, and you need the quick influx of cash in order to do so, and you plan on paying it back off very, very soon, I would say don't refinance and don't get a HELOC unless you're really, really looking to use that to put it back into the home. And even then, you have to be very careful and make sure that you rock out with somebody that know what they're doing, because you only want to put it into the parts of the home that continues to increase the value of the property. You don't want to put it into the parts of the home that don't matter. Don't go and build an in-ground pool. You know what I'm saying? Don't do no dumb junk like that. Unless you're using the money to reinvest in the property strategically, don't do it. So my advice to you is don't refinance and don't get a HELOC. Don't use a credit card. And I'd need to have even more information in order to give you some more insight. So that $5 really took you far as advice. Make sure you guys tap in if you need to get a coaching call from me. Anton Daniels, 413@gmail.com. You can email me. I'm going to get you set up for a personal call or a Zoom call. Make sure y'all tap into the Alpha Juice Company. Support the Alpha Juice Company because it's a phenomenal product. I am starting my cleanse and my fast tomorrow. And so I'm only going to be doing water in the Alpha Juice Company. The discount code is down in the description. Also, tap into the Patreon, exclusive video dropping tonight. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And then also, thank you, Teege Hanley, for supporting the channel. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is in the description also. Let me also acknowledge the Big Podcast. The Big Podcast says, appreciate your content, bro. It's been like a match fueling my journey to and where I want to be in life. Thank you. The BIG Podcast is in the building. Thank you to everybody that's in the chat that's supporting the platform. I love you. I appreciate you. Again, make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm if you have not already subscribed. Share this with your friends and family. And then let's get into it. So let me acknowledge the chat before we get popping. I see you. Azriel is in the building. My dog Kojak. What up, Bella? Bella's in the building. Tap In Productions. I appreciate you. Alex Plum says, instead of a mortgage, I borrowed the money against my money. Bought my house and now just paying the loan back, so my house is mine whether I pay the loan or not. No, your house is not yours. Your house is the mortgage company's until you pay off the loan. All right? Your house is the mortgage company's until you pay off the loan. Shout out to Mellyville is in the building, says, what are your thoughts on the elimination of taxes proposal by the Republicans? I have not seen it. Mellyville, email it to me if you have not already, and I'll break it down on the Millionaire Morning Show in the morning. I'd love to talk about it. Shut Up and React TV is in the building. Shout out to my dog, Razik. Razik says, by the way, remember when Anton said I was wrong about options trading? Bruh, he was wrong the entire time. No. You are wrong. Options trading is literally gambling. Options trading is literally gambling. Overwhelming majority of people above a 98, 95% clip lose money. I am literally coaching people that have gotten their ass kicked with options right now. And they said, Anton, you were right. You were losing. Razik, don't fall for the okie doke. Get out of options. Get out of Forex. Get out of anything as far as looking at it from a quick come up or trying to time the market or trying to beat it based off of an algorithm or a program or anything like that. That is all bullshit. No real seasoned investor is ever going to rock with that shit, including Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, none of them. Don't do it. It is a quick way to lose your money, and you do not want to find yourself on the other end of that stick. Let's see what else we got going on. Shout out to MJ Anime says, I love Dr. Umar Anton. Some of his takes are radical as hell, but some are actually good. I don't disagree with everything that Umar says, which is one of the reasons why I like breaking it down. I think that Dr. Umar is polarizing, but more importantly, he's entertaining. Some things he says I agree with, some things he says I disagree with. Shout out for Dr. Umar Johnson for going on all of these other platforms and smaller platforms, but actually ducked the smoke when we invited him and we offered to pay him and pay for his expenses, his flights. We offered to put him up in the best hotel rooms, driver, the whole 9 yards. He's in Detroit on a regular basis, over there, standing over there on Rosa Parks and stuff like that, going over there to preach and tell everybody to hit the Cash App. I told him I'll give you an influx of money just for your school. I'm going to make sure your school get open this year if that's what you're really trying to do. I know he giving updates, fake it. Oh, in 3 years? Yeah, it's been like 15 years. But we offered him. I said, yo, Dr. Umar, we going to make sure you get it popping. First, he accepted because, you know, the money is always enticing. And then he declined when he said that, you know what? I might be barking up the wrong tree. But that's his option to do so. I cannot criticize him for it. But it is not going to stop me from being able to make videos either agreeing or disagreeing based off of whether or not he's making an objectively good decision on whatever it is that he's talking about. So shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson. You are still, I'm never going to reach back out to him. That's for sure. Like, once somebody turned me down, it's just like a bad bitch. Like, if I ever walk up to a chick and she said, no, I'm straight, and I'm going to be like, okay, cool. Like, I'm never going to shoot another shot. Like, in sales, they never told us to go back to the same house that you tried to pitch that didn't want your services in the first place. The law of averages mean that you need to move on and recognize the ones that don't make the most sense. So if he ever reaches out to me, then we can do some business. I'm going to make sure that his school get open. You know what I'm saying? I got that influx of cash. Time Dog is cash flush out here. But I'm never going to reach out to him. But doesn't mean that I'm not going to review the video. So without further ado, shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson is in the building. And somebody recently sent me a video of his in which he said that we need to start a black tax. We need to start a black tax. We need to start a black tax. What do y'all think about that? I have not watched this video yet. I seen the preview of it because I want to make sure that it's something worth talking about and reacted to. What do y'all think about that? A black tax. And so based off of the preview, he used DJ Khaled and different people in order to emphasize how much money they've made as a result of doing business and selling products and services and entertainment over to black people and white people for that matter, because we know if you go to any of these concerts, the overwhelming majority of the people that's in the concerts is in the audience is white people and Asians and everybody else but black people. Some black people be there, but it'd be mostly others. What do y'all think about that? Let me see what y'all talk about in the chat before we get into the show. Let me see what y'all talking about. Shout out to TO31 says, the big dog with the big chain. Salute to you, Anton. Salute to you, TO31. I appreciate you for rocking out with me, family. Thank you for the 2-ball. I love you. I appreciate it. Raw B says, I do not agree. Azriel says, a black tax? Akeem said, that's ridiculous. Bella says, school ain't getting open anytime soon. Never Neverland. My dog Kojak says, yeah, I can't rock with Dr. Moist. With Dr. U Moist, not after he turned me and a group of investors down. Mr. Stephen X robbed by taxation says, it won't happen. They let Fat Joe, a Puerto Rican, claim the foundational Black American FBA weren't the only pioneers of hip hop, which I agree with that. They weren't the only pioneers of hip hop. If you go back and you actually look at all of the people, because the pioneers of hip hop wasn't just rappers, right? It wasn't. Hip hop specifically is more than just lyrics that's being spit over a beat, right? You had the DJ, you had the B-boys, you had the spray painters, the tagging, and all of that other type of stuff. And it was literally a conglomerate of different people from all races and cultures that actually contributed to and fed into what we see today that has been taken over by the talent of overwhelmingly black people. And so I don't believe at all that black people are only the pioneers of hip hop, because we only know what came out on wax. We don't really know who all was involved. But if you go back and you actually do research and you look at the history of hip hop, it was a lot of people from a lot of different cultures that got involved in that. But we know where it started. I believe that there's a lot of people that contributed to a lot of things that don't necessarily get the credit just because we want to take it for ourselves, and we've dominated it. So that's just my opinion. It's my opinion. But without further ado, let's get into the video, and we're going to break it down frame by frame. You know how we do. I'm going to try to listen more than I respond, because I want to get the whole context behind what it is that he's saying before I break it down. So shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson. Again, make sure y'all get that Alpha Juice Company. All of the discount codes is in the description. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Uncensored video being released tonight. Hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Teege Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. I love you. I appreciate you. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen.
No disrespect. DJ Khaled made millions of dollars off of black art, and they never paid a black tax. Can somebody explain that to me? Can somebody go ask DJ Khaled a question for me?
So what I think I'm going to do, if I have enough time, if I get through this and I break it down, what I'm going to do is I may, since we got the Millionaire Evening Show tonight, I'm feeling a little froggy. You know what I'm saying? So if it's anybody that throughout this breakdown or anything that I say out throughout this show, feel as though they want to have a conversation and dispute it, only people that disagree, not people that agree, I will consider dropping the link in the chat for you to be able to cam up and then show me what you got. If you got smoke, or if anybody got smoke, we can turn this into the half Umar Johnson show, the half smoke show. If anybody got smoke, anybody at all, make sure you have good camera lighting. Make sure that your camera is on. Don't be looking like a dusty. You have the opportunity right now to go get in the shower, brush your teeth, and put on a decent jumpsuit so that me and you can have this conversation. If anybody disagree with anything that I say, and I have not watched this video, anything that's going on today, I may drop the link in the chat for you to be able to cam up and voice your disagreements. So don't say that Anton is not open to the smoke, because I've been open to the smoke and ain't nothing changed. All right, let's continue into the show.
Let's talk about the financial costs of multiculturalism. We have no powerhouse black businesses. One of the biggest financial costs of multiculturalism is Black Wall Street. One of the biggest financial costs of multiculturalism is Black Wall Street.
Just don't say it a third time.
One of the biggest. I see you, Sister Colleen Young Horton. What up, Puff?
Don't say it a third time.
What up, Puff? I'm pulling up to homecoming this year, Puff. I ain't been to a homecoming since I graduated from Millersville with my first master's degree in school psychology in the year 2000. Roll out the red carpet. King Kong consciousness is returning to ground zero. Black Student Union President Emeritus. Nothing but love. I don't want to see no hate. We too old for the hate, fellas. If I took your girl in college, that was 30 years ago. Get over that shit, okay? Get over it.
Talk your talk, Umar.
I'm coming back, and I'm spreading love to everybody.
Listen, I'm all for talking your talk. Talk your talk. Get your big energy up, Dr. Umar. Listen, he said, if I took your girl that was 30 years ago, get over it. I'm all for that. See, this is where me and Dr. Umar connect. I'm all for that. I love it when people talk, they talk and say, you don't know who you talking to, but I'm going to let you know when I show up. I'm all for that. Let's continue into the show.
Let me stay focused. Multiculturalism destroys our black financial power. It does not allow us to fund our own black businesses because we are not financially selfish enough for black businesses to survive. I'm going to say it again.
That's
We
not
are
true.
not financially selfish enough for black businesses to survive.
That's not
I'm going
true.
to say it one more time.
Oh, Jesus.
We are not financially
Not 3 times.
selfish enough. Did y'all hear what I want you to hear me?
He's wrong. He's wrong.
If
He
black
could not be any more wrong. But before I break this down as to why he's wrong, and this is the difference between somebody that's a revolutionary black power. This is the difference between somebody that's a revolutionary that went to school, got their master's degree, got multiple different master's degrees, and somebody that understands how to look at things from a business perspective. This is why his school isn't open. This is why it's taken 1 to 2 decades for his school to be open, because he doesn't understand how to look at things from a business perspective, right? He's wrong. He could not be any more wrong. But I'm going to let him give the context before I start to break this down.
people are going to make it, we have to become selfish as a group. You compete through selfishness. Selfishness is necessary for group survival. Everybody's group power can be traced to political selfishness. They do not share power. Economic selfishness. They do not share wealth.
And this is why he's so off, right? And I actually had a conversation with y'all the other day, and I broke this down. Actually, I think it was yesterday. I broke this down for y'all yesterday. The reason why Dr. Umar Johnson's and the people like him exist is because he fills your head with so much ignorance and so much misinformation. But they allow for it to happen because it keeps you distracted from what the real focus is. From a political perspective, for example, what most people don't understand is that most of the people that's in the House of Representatives, most of the people that's in Congress, how do I know this? Because I have people that are on my team and people that I interview, such as the Kwame Kilpatrick, who literally was flying on a jet with Bill Clinton, knows all about the bullpen. If you guys have not watched that full interview, you need to watch it inside of the Patreon. I got 2 videos with Kwame Kilpatrick, and I'm actually on got a meeting with him this upcoming month because we got more business to discuss. They have a bullpen of the different people that they've already vetted that is on the come up that they're anticipating to have a political force. Now, why do you think behind closed doors, at the end of the day, the overwhelming majority of Democrats and Republicans are all rich? If you don't believe that they are friends, if you don't believe that they actually do business together, if you don't believe that they're in bed together and that they aren't divided, but they are divided on the surface for the sake of keeping you busy and keeping you divided by making you think that they are on different teams when they're all a part of the same system that is benefiting them and killing you, you are highly, highly disillusioned. Do they compete against each other? Absolutely. Are they friends behind closed doors? Absolutely. 100% they absolutely are. Go watch House of Cards. Go watch House of Cards and see how that plays out. House of Cards, that first season, was one of the best shows that I had ever seen in my entire life with Kevin Spacey. I don't even know if they still got it on Netflix. When you see these other communities, they play both sides. They donate to both the Republican side and the Democratic side. Because they aren't concerned about who it is that gets in office. They're concerned about controlling what it is whoever gets in office does. But it's easy to keep black people distracted by making them divided against another group instead of having them partner for their own benefit, because that's the true way in which you be selfish all the way up until success. But let him continue. I don't want to hijack what it is that he's saying.
I don't give a damn what the pastor tells you this Sunday. Selfishness is a virtue for black people who want to survive the 21st century. Group selfishness, not individual selfishness.
Based off of what, though? It has to be based off of more than just what the color of your skin is. Because every single group separates themselves based off of character, because all white people don't rock with all white people. All Jewish people don't rock with all Jewish people. If you are not on the program and if you are moving in a different direction as far as character or doing business dirty or anything whatsoever, they divide themselves against you, and then you're left to have to survive on your own. And that is the truth. That is the truth. 100% all the way across the board. It is the truth. Bad apples get thrown out into the trash can because one bad apple can ruin the whole bunch. That is the truth. They root out the foolishness and they do not allow for bad apples to continue to play at the playground with all of the rest of the kids. That does not happen.
Be selfish with each other. I'm talking about as a group. We have to become politically selfish and we have to become financially selfish. If we do not do that, we will not survive. We must become politically and financially selfish. When the last time you seen Chinese man buy some soul food?
At my restaurant. Wow. Just so happened to be one of the people that owned a restaurant. See, this isn't optics. I don't speak based off of optics. I speak based off of reality. I had plenty of Asian people supporting me. As a matter of fact, for those of you that have been to any Patreon meetup, I think it wasn't the last Patreon meetup in Miami where we did New Year's Eve, but it was the one before that. And it was a white guy, it was Asian people, it was all different types of people that were participating at the meetup. I coach Asian people. I coach white people. They are some of my biggest supporters, and they just don't show themselves because they don't want to be criticized or they don't want what comes along with being visible as a white guy or an Asian guy or an Arabic guy. Some of the people that have my back the most, some of the people that I'll be sitting in the that give me some of the biggest props and all that other type of stuff, they don't look like me. They don't. When I owned my restaurant, the demographics were clear. And anybody that had ever been inside of my restaurant, like the one that I was running on a day-to-day basis, not the ones that I'm silently investing in, the area that I was in was majority black. It was like half and half white and black. And then I had Asians coming in. I had Arabic people coming in. But the people that supported the business actually was overwhelmingly of a different community. It wasn't black people. So I have no clue what he's talking about. And it's easy for you to just say stuff, right? People can say anything, but what does your real lived experience tell you? Right? What does your lived experience tell you? It's completely different than this narrative that he's spinning right now in front of you guys. Let's stay focused.
Is the last time you see a Chinese man or woman in a black
Hey, B. Paulie, you know about it. You knew what a restaurant was near Joe's Army and Navy. Yes, you do. Right off of M59, right off of Telegraph. Shout out to the people that's in the chat that actually know what I'm talking about and know that my real life can be substantiated based off of what it is that I'm telling you right now. B. Paulie, you know that area over there near Joe's Army and Navy is split half and half. It's half white people, half black people, and then it's a bunch of other people that sprinkled in between. B. Paulie, I'm talking real cash. I'm not talking something that I think. I'm not talking from the perspective of people that ain't never built nothing before. I'm telling you that I've built everything that I've had from scratch with my own two hands. I know intimately every single detail, every single decision that we made from a business perspective, which we then gleaned from what it is that I learned in corporate America, was made based off of the data. I knew exactly what days people were going to buy what, which was the informed decision as to whether or not I was going to have a loss leader that day, as far as a specific thing that I was going to put on a special, or if it was a certain thing that I need to do based off of some other thing. I knew who my customers were, who the regulars were. I had data within my thing to let me know which cards were being used the most at what time, which then informed me who it was that I was going to have on staff that day. This is not just me talking like Umar Johnson. When the last time you seen? No. Right on the businesses that I own, I see it happen all the time. Matter of fact, some of the people that were delivering the DoorDash and purchasing it were Asians. You know, B. Paulie, you know. See, I don't just talk it, I actually did it.
Food restaurant. When is the last time? Because you are always in his restaurant. You are always in the Chinese restaurant. We are always in the Chinese restaurant.
You know what's so interesting about this? I'm going to let this play. Take Eminem, for instance, right? Eminem is quite possibly one of the biggest supporters and one of the ones that nobody can come back and said that they did him dirty. Everybody will say something like Suge Knight did him dirty. Master P, he catching hell right now because of the Fat Trail interview and his son Lil Romeo. Diddy, everybody said that Diddy robbed them and all of this other type of stuff. Completely different conversation. Nobody ever says that Eminem did him dirty. As a matter of fact, one of the people that were the biggest bullies, biggest advocates, and the most loyal to Eminem, 50 Cent, said that he loves Eminem more than he loves anybody else outside of Yayo. Why is that? How come we want to hold accountable the ones that actually kicked open the door, and every single person that he signed after that was black? Put money in D12's pocket. Denon Porter, still put him on. Shout out to Swifty McVeigh. I actually know him. Shout out, rest in peace to Proof. Shout out to Griselda, came through, did the underground thing, give all of his homage, acknowledgement. The biggest supporter of black culture and has put more money in more black people's pockets as a result of him coming in and actually acknowledge the fact that he is a visitor just to be able to appease you, but then made sure that he put on more black people than most of the black people that actually kick in the door and get in and is able to get in there. But we want to put a black tax on him. Okay. All right.
So for all the millions of dollars we've given the Chinese stop and go, you mean to tell me you've never seen a Chinese in a black soul food restaurant? They supposed to be selfish. I'm not going to give you $1 of my people's money. See, the reason these other groups can be so selfish politically and economically, their money belongs to the group.
It's not true. The biggest shoppers, for example, of Balenciaga, Versace, if you go to any casino and you go to the Baccarat table, you go to MGM here in Detroit, we got MGM Motor City and we got Greektown Casino, which is now something completely different. If you go to anywhere in Vegas, more Asians spend the majority of their money. They are the biggest whales. They are not trying to only go to an Asian casino. They are not only hanging out in Macau. They are here spending money. They are pumping money into the economy now. Now, are they investing? Absolutely. But they are not only separating themselves based off of where it is that they can spend their dollars. See, that's a conversation that's much bigger because then you have to start looking at what the Chinese government is doing, and it's a completely different conversation. Man, this is way over his head. I'm going to be honest with you. This is way above his pay grade. And this is what happens when you move from being a revolutionary to start actually talking about things from an economic empowerment perspective. Way above his pay grade. Way above the pay grade of Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm going to be honest with you. Let me get to a couple of these super chats. Shout out to Brock. Brock said, pass a love offering. Thank you, Brock, for supporting the platform. Also, my dog, Spencer Campbell, says, that's why I rock with you, big dog. Always keeping it 100. The realest dude on the internet. You know why they hate me? Because I'm a nerd. Because I'm a nerd and they can't get one over me. That's why they hate Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Because self-admittedly, I'm a nerd, but I can talk more cash shit than all of these other dudes that's talking all of this tough talk. I talk more cash shit because I can back it up than all of these other dudes. That's why they don't like me having a platform or being vocal, or they want to discredit, or they want to call me nerdy or any of that other type stuff. And then I turn it around and say, yep, I'm nerdy. Yeah, you stupid because you've been married for one woman for your whole life. Duh. That's very much the thing that we wanted in the black community. You stupid because you keep investing in black people. Yep. That's pretty much what you said you wanted in the black community, right? You stupid because you keep putting... Man, how many times am I going to have to school y'all? Shout out to my dog, Aaron. AL says, have you ever heard of John Taffer speak about information gathering and data analysis for restaurants? He's the host of Bar Rescue. He's a beast. I have not watched him, but I'm glad that you're putting me up on him because y'all be putting me up on everything. Let's continue.
Their money, the Chinese say, this dollar is a Chinese dollar. I can't give a Chinese dollar to somebody who's not Chinese, but you don't think like
How
that
many Asians
because you
does he
have been
know?
multiculturalized against your own community. Black people have been multiculturalized against your own community. Black people have been multiculturalized against your own community. And since you've been multiculturalized against your own community, you don't feel bad empowering other groups with your dollar.
I wonder why Chinese people actually come over to America, pay more than what you pay, and egregiously more, to go to your universities, study at the schools that are primarily PWI. They come and pump money into the American economy. As a matter of fact, the best universities are the ones that do the opposite of what Dr. Umar Johnson said that HBCU should do. The greatest universities are recruiting these people because not only are they the most generous when it comes to being alumni, make the university do good, also they pay more, 100 times more to come over here and be educated. Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just be educated within their own universities? Why not just, if they got so much power and wealth, why not just create their own school and then divest themselves from being in an American public school system or inside of the college school system? Why not just create their own university to make sure that they're not giving no money into any other institution except for their own? The difference is that in most instances, the reason why we lean on the idea of being black owned and why we brand ourselves that way is because we're unable to compete just based off of purely delivering a better product with a better service with better marketing, which is one of the reasons why when you go into a black business, the stereotype is, oh, everything is going to be slow. The food is going to come out cold. Everything going to be late. It's going to taste different than it is than I tasted the last time. The girl that come up to my table that's black is going to have a bad attitude, so on and so forth. The stereotype became a stereotype because at some point it was something true about it. Whenever I see somebody that have to lean on the idea that their business is black owned, what it tells me is that they can't compete with the general public. And so they're looking for somebody to support them based off of a service that they're not providing. You being black doesn't mean that you're giving me a better service than the person that's down the street. I don't want charity. I want people to support this, what it is that we're doing, because I'm actually giving you a better product, better service, and I'm marketing myself better than the competition. I want to put them out of business, not because you just charitable giving. I want to put them out of business because I'm better than them in every single way, shape, and form. I don't want you to support my business and get substandard service just because I'm black. I want you to support my business because I'm better than the competition. And if anybody ever say that I'm supporting you because you a black-owned business, then I realize that I got work to do. I realize that I have some issues and some things that I need to shore up. And not only that, I'm about to go and work for the competition so I can understand how they're doing things more effectively so that I can then give you a better service and earn your loyalty, not feel as though I am entitled to your loyalty just because I was born a color that I can't even control. I'm not entitled to your loyalty just because I'm black. I want to earn your loyalty because I continue to add value into your life. And that is the difference between a business that is successful and one that only leans on the idea that I'm black. If we change our mentality, we'll actually be able to compete more effectively. If you change your mentality, you'll actually be able to compete more effectively. Don't hire me because I'm black. I don't need your affirmative action. As a matter of fact, I'm going to come in here and over-deliver just to help you to understand that there's a difference between us and it ain't got nothing to do with our skin color. That's the difference. Shout out to my friends that sent a chat. Yo, what up, though? What up, though, to my dog, Blaze Skywalker. Blaze Skywalker says, you my dog, Anton, but I have to agree with Umar on this. 1, black people don't circulate money in our own communities except for the churches. I do agree with you, though, that we don't have substantial business with better products to produce. Well, let me tell you what the difference is. And thank you for the 50 ball, Blaze Skywalker. I respectfully am going to have to disagree with you, right? Because it's not about circulating money in your own community, right? It's about not having the option to do so. Because if I have to go out of my way just to spend my money with a black business, that's a bigger problem than trying to circulate the money within your community. I'll give you an example, Blaze. I'll give you a perfect example, right? Let's talk about circulating a dollar within the community. I am a person that everybody knows that I have reached some of the highest heights within corporate America, right? And when I reached some of those heights, one of the first things that I did, just subconsciously, because you're always going to give preferential treatment to the people that you can more relate to, right? So if somebody comes in and they look black, even though I'm not trying, naturally, subconsciously, I'm rooting for you and I'm going to do everything I can to give you the upper hand on whatever it is that we got going on. The problem is every single black candidate that I invited or that we had come into the office came in smelling like weed, or they were severely underqualified. Or when I actually went into an engineering program, the software engineering program, what would happen would be every single class that I was in, I was the only black person in there. So when I go to award these contracts, even if I'm subconsciously wanting to help you, I can't, because you don't meet the criteria and you didn't actually do what you were supposed to do, and you don't have the degree, and you don't have the opportunity to be able to get this contract, even if you wanted to, because I'd have to actually put my own job on the line in order to be able to justify why it is that I did business with you in the first place, or possibly deal with a dude that's going to get fired and make me look bad because I don't have any suitable candidates. So if I can't actually do anything with you because I have no options to be able to do so, and there's nobody available for these jobs, and everybody that want to participate in these environments then say, well, I want to take the shortcut, right? Because every coaching call, people ask me, hey, should I do a boot camp or should I actually go to the college to get my degree? And then I say, well, it depends on how far you're trying to go in corporate America. If you're just trying to get into IT and you want to be a help desk support analyst, by all means, do the least and the minimum possible to be able to do so. But if I can't even convince anybody to not rap or not try to be a ball player and actually go and get the jobs that's actually going to pay you money, if I have to beat you in the head in order to do so and then you still kill me as a result of it, how can I circulate dollars within my community because I can't even give you the contracts necessary to even be able to put money in your pocket if I want to? And so it has nothing to do with wanting to give money to your community, because the overwhelming majority of the businesses that I've invested in are black people. What it has to do with, if I need a contractor and you show up late and he shows up on time, I'm going to hire him, and I don't care if he's white, black, Asian, or Chinese. I need my motherfucking contract fulfilled because there's money on the line, and my well-being and my family's well-being is on the line, and I'm dependent on you, and I can't depend on whether or not it's going to be based off your skin color. That's the difference. That's the difference, Blaze. That's the difference. I have to be in a position to actually make sure that whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm not going to suffer as a result of trying to circulate dollars within the community. I'm going to be reading the super chats throughout the show. We going to cook today, y'all. We going to cook today. I had a dude that jumped on the panel the other day. I was actually on 10 Toes TV. I was kicking it on their panel, right? And he said, Anton, let me pull this back up. He said, Anton, what am I supposed to do if I ain't got time to do it? How can you help a dude that ain't even got time to be able to do this? And I said, family, if you ain't even got time to reinvest in yourself and I'm supposed to care more about your well-being than you do, then I don't want to do business with you. They all got mad at me. They missed the message. You get done the thing that's important to you. I will help you if you help yourself first. But if I can't even find anybody to do business with, there is no black community to really circulate the dollar in, unless we want to buy some more rap music. Real talk. I can't hire a dude that come in and smell like weed. I put out a call, right? Because I had a plug here in Metro Detroit and we had some really, really good jobs coming online, right? And I said, listen, anybody that can show up, anybody that can pass the drug test, anybody that actually looks decent, put on a shirt with a collar, it don't even have to be white, put on some slacks, We'll even overlook that. You don't even have to put on a tie. They're going to drug test you. I told people this 3 months ahead of time. First of all, we were severely understaffed because, and this was a good paying job. This was a job that started off at $75,000, $80,000 a year. Most people didn't show up. The people that did show up looked raggedy, smelled like weed. 80% of them couldn't pass the drug test. What do you want me to do? What dollar am I to circulate? Because this has nothing to do with discrimination. This got something to do with me being able to take care of my family because I still got a business to run. What am I supposed to do? I'm just curious. What am I supposed to do? How is it that I'm supposed to deal with that solution for that? Shout out to Pac-Man says, Dr. Umar would roll you in the backwood in the debate. Then why he didn't show up? Because y'all just talking. I offered to pay him an egregious amount of money, put him in the best hotel, driver, fly him first class, the whole 9 yards. I still got the text messages. You want to see him? He accepted and then he declined. He said, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. He be in Detroit every single month and he will not show the fuck up. Talk to me tomorrow. Don't tell me what you think. Actually roll me up in the backwood and smoke me then. I don't do hypotheticals. I put the money up. There's been plenty of people, including Dr. Umar Johnson, Boyce Watkins, and Tony the Closer, and I said, listen, I got 100,000, winner takes all. $250,000, winner takes all. However y'all want to do it. Debate, show your net worth, bank accounts, however we want to do it. Don't nobody show the fuck up. I don't want to hear that shit. Take your fanboy ass on somewhere. Don't talk to me about that. Because when they want to roll me up, I will be right here in Metro Detroit or I will travel to you. And I will pay for them to come first class and ensure that they have the best rider. And I will put some money in their pocket to make sure that they don't leave broke. Please don't tell me to bring up the receipts because I will. Dr. Umar Johnson. Boy, who you talking to? I'm actually a person that's opened up multiple different businesses, owned buildings. I don't want to hear that black power shit. How many people has he put money in their pocket? How many people do he employ that is black? Don't talk to me about this black power shit. Show me what you really did. I pull up receipts. Talk to me about no black power shit. I didn't put more money in black people's pockets than any of these motherfuckers that's combined. Black power. Pull up your motherfucking receipts. I don't want to hear that black power shit. Talk that shit to somebody else. How many boys have you actually got a job for? How many people have you made $100,000 salary for? How many businesses have you funded? He take from his people. I give to my people. Don't fucking talk to me about no Umar Johnson. He beg his people. I give to my people. I fund their businesses. I don't want to hear that shit. Talking to me about Umar Johnson. Find another motherfucker that can actually step to me. Umar fucking Johnson. These y'all fucking heroes? Talking to me about Umar fucking Johnson. Show your motherfucking receipts, nigga. All of these niggas supposed to be a part of the black community and helping y'all and they ain't doing shit. They don't even marry y'all. They won't marry a black woman. All they are is baby fucking daddies that beg and tell you to hit the cash app, nigga. They don't give you no knowledge. They don't give you, nigga, they ain't nothing but the modern day church pastor that's selling you a fucking dream but giving you nothing when you get out there in the streets. Umar fucking Johnson. Don't talk to me about Umar Johnson. I'm Anton motherfucking Daniels, nigga. Who you talking to? These niggas be killing me, man. How can you compare these niggas to me? We not the same. They come into your community and they take your money. I come into your community and I provide opportunity. Give me a second, man. I didn't know we was going here today. I didn't know we was going here today, man. Y'all just be talking crazy to me. Y'all talking crazy to me, man. If y'all don't start putting some respect on my name, my God. This nigga said he was going to get his school together in what, another 2 to 3 years? Nigga, it's been 12 years. Good grief. What more do y'all want from me? Disrespectful. Let me read these super chats. We're going to get through this show today. Shout out to Alvin S. Says, blessings to AD, my offering. Oh, yeah, we got that. Thank you. I appreciate you. No, he did not want that smoke. Dr. Umar Johnson don't want no part of a nigga like me. He don't want no parts of this at all. Walk away. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Dr. Umar Johnson will never in his life step foot in the same room as me voluntarily. Not a day in his life. And I will pay whatever it is that he wants to show up. But the caveat is that I get to ask whatever it is that I got to ask, and he cannot move. He cannot leave out of the room without answering the questions for the next 2 hours. We gonna have some real rumbling from a conversation perspective, and he can have all of his master's degrees, and I'm gonna take my community college degree, and we gonna walk away from the room, and we gonna see who's who. And I will pay him whatever it is. Listen. I got real money. I don't even care about losing on that stream. I will live stream that shit to make sure that it's not edited. You tell him to pull up, and I will make sure that everything is set up. Every camera, the only thing he got to do is walk in with his dashiki and his hat and his hair. That's all he got to do is walk in. And you did this to him. Remember that. You ruined his career if he ever stepped foot in the room with me. I'm telling you right now, January 24th, 2023, you ruined his career the minute that he walked in the room with me, because it ain't too many people that can stand in the same room with me and have a real conversation. You did this. Talk to me about that, boy. He don't want that smoke. Shout out to Fictixon Crypto. Says, my associate friend was making $48,000 a year as a manager at a restaurant, and he quit his job to rap and sell weed. He only has $250 to his name. And this is what we teaching our people in the black community. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Carrie Preacher says, ooh, this is what we doing at this night. I didn't know I was going to do this. I thought I was going to do a nice little breakdown, but you know me, man. I get passionate about this. Shout out to you with the 20 ball. I appreciate you for supporting the platform, my friend. My dog Crypto says, I'm a field technician that works in IT as well in Missouri. I have my own company and I can pass a drug test anytime. Let's work. I have a crew. Shout out to you. Send me an email, my dog. I love to get in touch with people and rock out with people. The big dog with the big chain. I appreciate you, TO31. My girl Raw B says, oh yeah, I read that one. Look at me. I'm going back in different stuff. That's a fact, Anton. I'm the only black guy in my engineering classes. And I coach you. And Demetrius, I know you telling the truth because I actually coach you. I get on the phone with you on a regular basis every single month, and I push you. And I tell you, yo, you need to go about doing it this way. Hey, don't get distracted. Leave them hoes alone. They're going to be there after you graduate, so on and so forth. I coach you, so I know that you're telling the truth, Demetrius. I know for a fact you're telling the truth. King Jaffe Joe, shout out to the ruler of Zamunda, said, this is what the black community needs to hear. Speak more of this truth. Fake idols and platitudes propped up in the black community, but zero receipts. Zero receipts. Shout out to the big podcast, says, appreciate your content too. Oh yeah, I read that one. I'm just going, making sure that I get everybody, because I want to make sure that I acknowledge everybody that's contributed to the platform. Oh yeah, I read that one too. Shout out to Nawa Kamate. says, you are cooking tonight. I got so much. And he hit me with the 50 ball. Shout out to the 50 ball and above. I acknowledge everybody. $1 and above. I love y'all. I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. You do not have to do so. But shout out to Nawa Kamate says, you are cooking tonight. I got so much love and support for you and Rita. Leading by example always. Show them receipts. Show the receipts. Show the receipts. We show them receipts. We show them receipts, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue.
You don't feel no guilt, no shame, no remorse by empowering other groups with your money. Black women, beautiful African queens. First, let me salute the Butter Almond Queendom, the Butter Pecan.
Make sure that y'all tap into the Alpha Juice Company. All of the discount codes is in the description. In addition to that, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I want to acknowledge my friends over at the Alpha Juice Company. And again, thank you to everybody that contributes to the platform. I appreciate you.
Queendom, the Caramel Queendom, the Fudge Queendom, the Nutmeg Queendom, the Cinnamon Queendom, the African Vanilla Queendom, the African
What is he talking about?
Queendom. I salute all of the African queendoms. But black women, you will never find another group of people who will pump $30 billion. Sisters, I love y'all, but y'all need a revolution.
My email is antondaniels413@gmail.com. My email is antondaniels413@gmail.com. Hit me up if y'all want to do business, if y'all looking to do business, if you need to book a coaching call, a Zoom call, or a personal call. Make sure y'all say that in the title and then emphasize exactly what it is that we need to talk about. And we're going to go from there. My people going to get you set up.
Y'all need a revolution in self-esteem. And y'all need a revolution in cultural authenticity. The black woman, who is the original woman, is the most culturally unauthentic.
What is he talking about?
I do not mean to disrespect the mothers of our children, the queens of our community, but I have to be honest. I am so disappointed in the black woman culturally. How can the mother of civilization be the most culturally inauthentic person in this country?
Because you won't marry her. I don't have anything to say to anybody that panders to black women and hit the Cash App and then try to hold them accountable for what it is that they ain't or are doing when they ain't never actually married them. If you a baby daddy, shout out to you. I appreciate you for continuing to do the work. But if you've never been married to the mother of your child, how is it that you can sit here and hold any kind of woman accountable? You won't even marry him. You won't marry them. See, this is what we talk about when we say receipts. This is what we talking about when we say receipts. I've actually married my black queen, dark-skinned woman, chocolatey. A lot of y'all don't even like that. Y'all say you should have got you a passport girl. Go get you a Thailand chick. Go get you a Dominican chick. No. I said that I'm married to my black queen since I met her. Got married at 22 years old. It'll be 19 years this year, and I'm going to be 41 in April. We are rocking together until death do us part. I got a black daughter. I got me a chocolate one. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love that girl more than I love myself. That's how you fix the black community. That's how you hold women accountable. First, you are a reflection of the thing that you would want to see, and then you can start having these conversations.
Your hair is fake. Your ass is fake. Your breast is fake. Your lips is fake. Your nose is fake.
Oh, listen. I'm going to tell y'all, listen to how he's talking right now. He's talking and he's tiptoeing all around this subject. When he talking to the men, he talking about how many lashes they need. He holding them accountable. He is talking like a little mouse right now, but let's continue.
Where is your authenticity? Now, I'm not going to knock you.
I'm going to drop the link in the chat tonight. We're going to kick it tonight.
One part of your body. I'm cool. I'm going to live with one part. I'm going to live with that. But you know what y'all do? Y'all go through a whole metamorphosis. The black woman goes through an entire European metamorphosis, where you got to change your face, your nose, your lips, your hips, every skin color. Guess how much money the African family globally, not just America, globally, not just America, the African family globally spends $8 billion on skin lightener.
And I'm trying to understand. You would have a much easier time having that conversation with the woman that you was married to. You would have a much easier conversation because the way in which you really generate wealth within the black community is by first having it in the home. You would have a much easier time having this conversation to the woman that you're married to. Much easier. Let's continue.
Did y'all hear what I just said?
No, we didn't. Reading super chats throughout the show.
$8 billion on skin lightener globally. They said it's going up to $12 billion on skin lightening cream. Hating your skin color is a $12 billion business. Hating your hair is a $30 billion business. Our self-hatred is another race's heaven. Your self-hatred is another people's heaven. Your self-hatred is another people's heaven. Your self-hatred is another people's heaven. Black women, y'all have to do something about this $30 billion hair and beauty care bill that we keep on investing into Koreans and Chinese every year. We got to stop this shit. Forgive my language. Black women, y'all have to do something. One of the first conferences we're going to have at the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, one of the first conferences we're going to have is a natural black beauty conference.
And I'm guessing that that's going to happen in what, 2036, 2026? I'll take 2025. 2025. Oh my God.
We must have a natural black. Who coming to the natural black beauty conference? What black men and black women want to present a presentation at the natural black beauty conference? We got to bring it back. $30 billion on the way we look. $30 billion on the way we look. Am I the only person who sees something wrong with that? $30 billion on the way we look. That is insane. We out here making other people rich, and then we...
Hey, hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's continue.
Crying about tuition at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. You putting $30 billion into the Koreans, and you crying about tuition at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
I knew it. That's the pitch. That's the pitch. You willing to get your hair done and put all of this money into the European economy, and you won't even pay tuition for your children to go to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. That's the pitch. That's the pitch, ladies and gentlemen. He just gave you the pitch. Listen, if I wanted to send my daughter there, first of all, the school isn't even open, all right? If I wanted to send let's say hypothetically that I wanted to send my daughter there, say 12 years ago, right? And I wanted to start her off there. That means she was 2. And the first time that I started hearing Umar Johnson was over a decade ago, right? And he was talking about starting a school and all of this other type of stuff before he burned all his bridges by talking junk about the very people that he was asking to donate money from, especially the black millionaires and billionaires, then millionaires who became billionaires as far as the hip hop community, right? That means that by the time that my daughter is now about to be 15 years old in this upcoming February, she's about to graduate from high school within a couple years. My daughter is literally about to graduate high school within a couple years from the first time that I started hearing him talk about this type of stuff. She aged out. She literally aged out. When are we going to do this? He got a whole new community of people to hit the Cash App in order to ensure that the school get built out. A whole new community. My daughter has aged out from the time that I wanted her to go to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy of School of Hard Knocks. Somebody answer clips, y'all. Somebody in the chat answer clips. Somebody answer clips in the chat. I've answered it. I've addressed it multiple times throughout the show. Respectfully, somebody answer clips and help them to understand what's happening out here in these streets.
Come on, brothers and sisters. Come on now. Imitation. Imitation.
Somebody said, Anton, you do it too when you want to subscribe to your Patreon. What's the difference? Let me tell you what the difference is. It's because I don't sell courses, right? And so a lot of people tap in with me because the Patreon was invented out of necessity. It wasn't invented as a result of me needing anything from anybody, because I was rich way before I even started talking about this, right? But it's a way for me to actually not have to come out of my pocket in order to do some of the things that I do on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, anybody that's ever been in a Patreon understands that I put all of the money back into the people. For example, one of the things that we do is we do an investor series in which people come in and they've given me pitches. As far as some of the people, varied people that's in the chat right now, such as Natasha, gave me a pitch, asked me to be able to fund her business. I sent her a wire, sight unseen, had never met her before. And then I wind up meeting her later on in California, right? Being able to put out some of the interviews and the content and get some of the people on these platforms that we then can't release the uncensored interview on YouTube because YouTube demonetizes it. But at the same time, it costs me money out of my pocket in order to ensure that these things get put together and in high quality. We're actually doing that. But in addition to that, it also ensures that people get to meet me in person without coming out of pocket, right? Because in the same way that you put together a subscription service for Netflix, you don't see them giving out information for free. And so I had to invest in myself, including my businesses and everything that I've learned along the way in order to be able to create this community that's allowed for me to actually give this information, give these uncensored interviews, and then do these mastermind sessions. Now, I could be charging a lot more based off of what it is that I charge my corporate clients, but I make it as affordable as possible in order to ensure that you guys get the value from it. And anybody that's a part of the Patreon, you cannot tell me that you have not come out of it much richer, much more successful, and with a different mindset. And so what does it cost you? The question that you have to ask yourself, because I'm not making anybody do anything. I provide value for what it is that you tap in for. Way more value than you can ever pay for. And so I provide a service for money. I'm not asking you to donate. I'm telling you that if you want additional information, it's there for you, but it's at a minimal cost. That's the difference. You don't just get to go and donate and hit the PayPal and hit the Cash App and you don't get no value for your money. The difference is that you get way more value for your money than what it is that they're charging you for these $1,000 courses. So you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's too many people that sat here and told me, Anton, you tripled my income as a result of it. So your loss. The bag chasers has been loyal and we're growing exponentially because they realize the value that I add. See, if I didn't have any value, then I wouldn't have any members. And that's the difference. That's the difference to answer your question. Y'all want to have any more questions? Y'all want to do a Q&A? Or y'all ready for me to drop the link in the chat? Because Anton is cooking tonight on his Millionaire Evening Show, not the Millionaire Morning Show.
It's cultural genocide. You don't ever imitate nobody else. I love women with natural hair. I love women with natural hair. Sisters, we need y'all to go natural. We're going to have a natural hair conference and contests. You'll be able to win some money and win a trophy for the best shortcut, best locks, best afro, best long locks, short locks, blowout. We're going to make being black attractive again. We have to make being black attractive again. The most honorable Marcus Garvey said, we have
Can we
to
fast
sell
forward?
blackness
Okay, listen.
back to.
So this is what I'm going to do. For those of you that have a disagreement, if you don't have a disagreement, then do not jump on the platform, right? But I am going to open up the lines, have your camera on, have good lighting. If you have a disagreement, if you think differently, if you think that Anton got it 100% wrong, if you think I got it 100% wrong, I am opening the chat to make sure that you are able to jump up here and say whatever it is that you want to say. Let me make sure that I got this right. Give me a second. Get the right link for y'all so y'all don't sit here and wind up complaining every time I can't get in. I'm dropping a link in the chat for y'all. There you go. Let me make sure that I pin it to the top of the chat. Give me a second. Switch account. Anton. I'm about to pin it to the top of the chat. So, anybody that has any kind of disagreement whatsoever, you don't even have to necessarily have a disagreement. You don't have to have an argument. You can disagree. We're going to do this very, very cordially if anybody has a disagreement. And we're going to go from there. So, anybody that has a disagreement only people that have a disagreement with what it is that I'm saying, you are more than welcome to be able to cam up. You have to be on camera with good lighting, and we're going to have the conversation. So until I see somebody jump in the back, because there's a lot of people that say a lot of things, but very few people actually want to say it to me, I'm going to continue with this live stream because I'm curious as to whether Dr. Umar Johnson actually has anything of value to add to us in this rant that he has going on here.
Black people. We have to sell blackness back to black people, brothers and sisters. By being multicultural, we're allowing ourselves to be financially exploited by the other groups. It's also an argument against reparations.
Link is pinned to the top of the chat.
Multiculturalism is an argument against
disagreements only.
Multiculturalism is an argument against reparations. I'm sorry, we cannot have a debate, family. No disrespect, my TikToker. No disrespect to my TikToker. No disrespect to my TikToker, but in the words of the late, great Pan-Africanist master teacher, Dr. John Henry Clark, he said, quote, I only debate my equals. All others I teach. I only debate my equals.
Equal in what? Equal in knowledge, insight, understanding, lived experiences, money. Which one you want? Which one you want? I don't see anybody that is camming up. I have dropped the link in the chat. I told y'all in the beginning of this live stream that I was going to drop the link in the chat. I gave you plenty of time to be able to prepare for what it is that we got going on right here. I don't see anybody that is camming up saying, Anton, I want to give you a different perspective. I have a difference of opinion. I think differently. I disagree with you, so on and so forth. I don't see anything in the back channel at all. TO31 says, bro, they don't want that smoke. I just want to have a conversation. If anybody disagrees with me, I am waiting for them to cam up. Where are you? Where are you? Just got back from the Army deployment, Mr. Small says. Man, under contract for my Verse investment property, Patreon members, get that bag. Bag chasers. Bag chasers, unite. We build wealth. We accumulate assets. We run that checkup and we continue to change the world by being the best versions of ourselves. Bag chasers, unite. Shout out to LA Wilkes, the Thin Black Line. Thin Black Line says, Lord, I'm so over that damn saying. You and I both. I'm waiting on somebody to cam up and tell me exactly what it is that I'm saying that's wrong here. Because I don't see anybody in the back that's really telling me anything.
All
Shout out
others
to you for the
I
Timbal.
teach.
I appreciate
no
you,
disrespect. I have 6 degrees. How many you got? No disrespect.
I got 6 degrees. From what institution? Are they black? Did you make sure that all 6 of your degrees are circulated based off of the black community, or did you give that money over into the white community to people that you know not of? Where was that money spent, Dr. Umar Johnson? I'm assuming, because I don't know. I don't know his history. I don't know what it is that he come from as far as his education. He has 6 degrees and no money. 6 degrees, no inside information on how to successfully build a business, and no real bag when it comes to building wealth in the community. Where were these 6 degrees from, and who did he give his money to in order to get it? Is all I want.
I built 1 school. I own 2. How many institutions you building? No disrespect. I raised the consciousness of more black people than probably almost any black man almost ever in modern history. I know I'm up there. If I'm not number 1, I'm up there.
Jesus Christ.
How many black people you brought to consciousness?
No. Here's a better question. How many black people have you employed? How many families have you put together? How many people have you inspired with your own lived experiences? How many people have you actually funded their businesses for? Listen, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody talking about expanding consciousness. Next thing y'all know, y'all going to be telling me about chakras and horoscopes. I don't want to hear anybody talking about raising black consciousness. When we going to get some money? Because conscious don't pay the bills. Conscious ain't going to ensure that your daughter ain't going to have to beg Biden for student loan forgiveness when she graduate out of college. Consciousness ain't never did nothing for nobody but made their eyes big. I'm so tired of people being consciously broke. Why are all of the most conscious people the ones that ain't got no fucking money? Somebody tell me that. Why are all of the conscious people broke? How come consciousness has not made us real estate holders? Where has this consciousness come when it came to creating wealth and funding businesses within the black community? Where has consciousness done for you as far as actually writing a loan proposal? Where are all the conscious lenders so that they can actually fund the businesses of the people that they raising the consciousness for? Consciousness, power to the people. Oh, let me take off my $40 to $50, $60,000 Rolex so I can make sure that I'm more conscious. Consciousness, power to the people, power to the people. Consciousness don't even pay taxes, bro. Y'all living off the backs of the people that's actually paying your own taxes to police your own communities. Conscious don't even pay taxes, nigga. Where is all of this consciousness generating the revenue and the wealth within our communities? I've raised more black consciousness than anybody, but where is the money, nigga? Where is the power, the money, anything? Give me something. Give me 13 cents, bruh. Put it on my books. Because I know for a fact, a lot of y'all be tapping in with me and saying, Anton, I'm a little short on my rent this month. Anton, my father died and I ain't got no life insurance. And I don't want to do a GoFundMe because you told me to get life insurance and I didn't go and get life insurance. And I'll be like, all right, listen, you a bag chaser. You paid your $15 this month. You've been supporting the platform. You are a family, but get your ass some life insurance next time. Here's $5,000. Rita will tell you, somebody sent me some sculptures with all, the people that did all of this or whatever. Anton, we opening up a museum of art and we want to do our art thing or whatever. I said, okay, Rita, send them $1,000 a month for the next however long they ever need it until they actually get their stuff open. See, I have real receipts. Somebody said, Anton, I want you to wear my hoodie. I didn't ask them, hey, listen, what percentage am I going to get out of it? Because I've already got the bag, right? Within a week, I had made them $30,000. Where is the money from all of this consciousness? Where's the money? Where is the money from consciousness? Because this is the same thing that the black church pay. They say, yo, pay your tithes and offerings, and they don't give you nothing to be able to stand on after you leave the church. I'm so tired of consciousness. I don't see nobody in the back. I know that I got the link pinned to the top of the chat for people that disagree with me. Somebody got to show up and say, Anton, I don't like what it is that you're saying, and here's why. A, B, C, D, and E. And I'm going to listen intently, and then I'm going to take it into consideration because he may be right or she may be right about me and what it is that I'm saying right now. I don't want to hear nobody else raising no more consciousness unless it comes with some money.
more black boys from the special ed to prison pipeline than any black man in American history. In history, how many you saved? So no disrespect. Just because I'm humble, don't you ever forget that I don't know who the fuck I am in this world. Don't ever forget. King Kong consciousness knows exactly who I am. Don't get it fucked up. Do you understand?
He's just a personality.
Do you
man.
understand?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a lot of respect for Dr. Umar Johnson as an entertainer. I don't really care about the consciousness that come along with it. I believe that he is a very, very, very good entertainer, and he provides phenomenal content for me to be able to react to. But I honestly have a lot of respect about his ability to say, I don't see nobody in the back.
Now,
I'm literally waiting for y'all to be able to cam up.
Let's talk about the intellectual and cultural
I've been waiting
cost
for a long
of
time
multiculturalism.
Who won't smoke?
It denies.
Listen, I told y'all, we gonna turn this into the smoke show for anybody that got smoked for Anton. It's been a lot of people, because I haven't been opening up the panels and all of this. It's been a lot of people that got a lot of things to say. Okay, here we go. We got one brave soul. I need to be able to see you. You got to have good lighting. Can you turn your light on so I can see you? All right, I can see you. Hold on. Let me get you out of here. Give me a second. I got you. Finally, I have brave Obi-Wan Kenobi. Give me a second. Let me get you up here. Give me a sec. I got you. Is it Tien?
Yes, sir.
What's up, Tien?
Peace, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. You have the floor, my friend, to be able to voice your disagreement or whatever it is that you have a different perspective about. I'm all ears, my friend.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah, I just recently tuned in, but I think I got the gist of where you're going with this. And the only pushback that I want to give you respectfully is that, I believe that while faith without works is dead, absolutely, where a lot of times we depend too much on our quote unquote righteousness and our consciousness and all that, but there's nothing actually showing proof that there's actually anything good that can come out of it. There's also a bit of whoredom that comes on the other side of it, where I kind of asked a question sarcastically in the chat. Was Jesus getting to the bag? So that's kind of why I wanted to start with you, brother. It's just asking, is there a point? What's the point of kind of the lineage between working for the people and then working to get the bag? Because I think that there are a lot of people that go in thinking that they're doing it with this sense of altruism and trying to be for the people, but then they get into it, and then next thing you know, they're more focused on getting to the bag than they are the purpose why they even got into it in the first place. If you know what I mean, the let's say Al Sharptons of the world, or the many people would accuse Jesse Jackson and those that are like.
Well, first, I want you to be safe, because it seems like you're driving, and I don't want you to get, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to be on a live stream being unsafe. So you good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's start with the first thing. You wanted to start with the Jesus thing, right?
Yes, sir.
So the thing about Jesus is that Jesus had a specific purpose because he was already rich, right? If I shrink myself down like Beetlejuice, and then I go into a creation that I created in order to save them, do I necessarily need to justify that I'm getting to the bag in order to do so? Because if I own everything already, and Jesus already got all of the bags, because he literally said he could have commanded legions of angels to come down and swoop down upon him if he wanted to. Jesus already had the bag. He just had the option to do so, but he chose not to utilize it and chose not to do that here on earth in order to be able to fulfill the purpose for the people. Can we agree on that?
Yes, sir.
because he already had the bag. He didn't need a bag. Now, the other side of it is, as we all know, resources is power, right? And I say this all the time. I believe that people need to be selfish because you can't do anything for anybody if you don't actually have anything to give them. Two broke people together is just like pouring two empty cups into each other. They can't do nothing for nobody. And so when we having this conversation, I think it's important to really take into consideration the fact that if you don't have money, you don't even have the ability to even be able to feed yourself. So when we say get to the bag specifically, what I'm telling people to do is make yourself sufficient enough to actually not have to be dependent on other people. So then we can then start to build you up. Being a bag chaser is literally just becoming the best version of yourself and not being a liability, right? Once you no longer become a liability, then we can start figuring out how it is that we can use you. And that's why when people tap into me, they say, Anton, what can I do for you? I said, first, you need to make sure that you do for you. Fix you, make sure you get it, but then along the way, get good character. So I think it is necessary because as we realize, money controls the media. Money controls whether or not you can even send your kids to school, and then you have to take on student loans, which then saddle you with more debt and then remove all of the ability to be able to purchase within your community. Your fact that you're giving all of your money over into the family court system because you had a baby out of wedlock instead of coming together and actually building that child up, because the fastest way to build wealth is within your own household as a community first, right? What I'm saying is that we need money. We've been raising consciousness and protesting and all of that for as long as we wanted to. At the end of the day, when you get done protesting and you get done tearing all of that stuff in your community, them same people that's protesting in their community then say we got a food desert because we burned down the supermarket store, right? And the supermarket store owner went and took the insurance money and cashed out and went somewhere else, and now you got a food desert in your community. Money is necessary. You have to have money. You have to have funding. And in order for people to actually even be able to get jobs, you have to have people create those jobs for them. Money is always necessary. I do not believe even a little bit in all of this consciousness without actual real work that comes along with it that generates resources. I think that both is necessary, but whenever people start to lean more to the consciousness side instead of to the empowerment side, that's a problem, because it don't take but a minute for me to become more conscious and knowledgeable. It take a lifetime to actually be in a position to actually give somebody a job.
Well, that's your position, brother. Then I don't have a disagreement with you at all.
Yeah, I don't think that it's a problem at all for people to be conscious. My thing is, okay, well, who are you really helping to just be conscious? How is that any different than somebody at church telling you to go read the Bible? Okay, after I get done reading the Bible, then what? I still ain't got no money. I'm still broke, and I still want to break in your house because I'm hungry.
No, absolutely. I think that, initially just listening to you, look, man, brother Anton, you're dope for so many reasons, and I've heard you speak on consciousness and what it means to be pro-black, and from what I can tell, the least pro-black thing about you is the fact that you say that you're not pro-black. But what
you know why I say that though, right? You know why I say that though, right?
No, go ahead.
I say it because I want people to remove the excuses behind being black as to why it is that they can't do what they're going to do. Because at the end of the day, even if you black, you still got to go out and show and prove. And so I remove that as an excuse to even the playing field to then propel people to actually show up and not use that as an excuse as to why they can't be successful. We know what we are. We look in the mirror every day. But we need to remove that and then over deliver so that we can then control our own destiny. I don't want people running in the oppression Olympics and then blaming it on somebody else, because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the results.
So I just got one question. I believe I got one question, and then I'll let you keep cooking, brother. But when you speak about oppression Olympics, I can think of other groups that have engaged in that type of identity politics and have done so successfully to be able to establish their own nation, to in order to be able to receive reparations, to the count of hundreds of millions, and they've done so culturally successfully to say, look, we've been through X, Y, and Z in our past. Our people have been persecuted, and they've done that as a narrative, but there was work behind it. Do you think that we have gotten to a point where we need not even try to use that blueprint, or should we try to establish our own method to get to that point of independence and just growth and development as a people?
I don't
If you know
have
what
a
I mean.
problem
I'm not
with people asking for reparations. I don't have a problem with people asking for reparations. I'm not going to ask for it because I'm not waiting on nobody to give me nothing. The problem that I have is that they can't do more than one thing at a time. So you telling me you can't be successful, go into STEM programs, push yourself to be greater than you are, and advocate for reparations? Because you can ask for whatever you want to. That's up to you. I don't want that to be the only thing that you're dependent on in order for you to be able to substantiate the fact that you're successful. Because even if you get it, what you going to do with it if you're not educated enough to understand how money works? So I think that people can do more than one thing at a time. I think the priority should be to build yourself up and not be dependent on anybody. But if they give it to you, then take advantage of it. I'm not going to overpay in taxes just because I got the ability to. I'm going to take advantage of the tax code. But at the same time, I'm going to run this check up. Every single opportunity that I get to benefit myself, I'm going to take advantage of it. But I'm going to first make sure that I get this bag and I take care of myself first. I'm not going to be dependent on nobody in order to feed my family.
That's great, man. Well, I got one more question, and I promise I'm gonna hop off.
Yeah, you can ask me as much as you want.
Yes, sir. What do you say to those who are getting to the bag? I give you a perfect example with the Ed Reed situation. Are you familiar with what just happened at Bethune-Cookman?
Yeah, I heard they wanted to hire him. I heard that the students was protesting. I don't know exactly what happened though.
Yeah, basically, they wanted him to be to Bethune-Cookman what Deion Sanders was to Jackson State. Ed Reed got there before he ever signed a contract. He had reached an agreement in principle with the university, but they were still negotiating the terms of the contract. Mm-hmm. So he goes in for the first 3 weeks. He's going in. He's doing the work. He's cleaning up the university. He's cleaning up the.
So he didn't actually sign a contract.
Right. He didn't sign a contract, but he's doing all that. He's already getting the work. But what he did was he hopped on social media and basically publicly blasted the university that he was still negotiating the contract for. And I believe it's pretty obvious that's what led to the university saying, you know what, we're good. We don't want you. Go about your way. And then he blasted them again, saying, oh, the university didn't follow through on their promise on their agreement in principle. And that's basically what happened.
So based off of what you're telling me, go ahead.
So the reason I bring that up is because a lot of administrators in universities, managers, executives, especially, well, I don't want to say especially, but a lot of them they get to that point where you got a title, you got your degree, you are essentially the upper middle class, upper class, and you may have started off thinking, back when you were undergrad, yeah, I want to do this for my people, and I understand what it means to be enlightened, et cetera, and then you get into the bag, you climbing the ladder, you're doing all that, and then you get to that point, but then you're coming on the other side, and you ain't doing shit for your community, but you running up the check for yourself, and there's a point where it's like, you have somebody that's like Ed Reed, who is, let's say, conscious, doing it for the people, trying to get to it, but he's self-sabotaging because he doesn't know how to conduct himself in a professional manner. And on the other side, you have people who know how to handle themselves in a professional manner, but they're so ingrained in their bureaucracy that they know nothing but getting to the bag, to the detriment of their communities.
Well,
And so, just as
so let
much
me
of
ask
a
you a
thing
question.
as
I'm gonna
anybody
have to
else.
research.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to research the Ed Reed situations because I don't know enough about it.
yeah.
So hopefully I'll be up to speed by the time that the morning come and I can talk about it a little bit on the morning show. How
When
is
you do,
let me
it's
ask you a
gonna put
question.
forth
Let me ask you a question.
perfect. I'm telling
How
you,
can
you're gonna kill
somebody
it.
getting to the bag be a detriment to their community?
When you uh get when you put yourself in a position in the community and you're not responsible and successful in doing your job. So, for example, those administrators, and there's a lot of administrators like that at a lot of universities and a lot of companies that's executives. You know, they are running up the check. They're living in a nice community. They drive a nice car, nice house, all of that. But the company sucks. The university looks like trash. They
Mm-hmm.
are bad at their jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and the effect is, yeah, they get to, pull in that 6-figure income, but the students suffer. The university suffers. Their customer base suffers.
Well, it's not.
That's what I'm referring
But
to.
here's the beauty in America, though. That's why you got options, right? Because one of the reasons why we break up monopolies in America is so that you not subjected to doing something that you don't want to do, simply because that's what's needed in order for you to survive, right? You can go to any university that you want to. You can go to any HBCU that you want to, right? And the chain of command, especially when it comes to complaints go up, not down. And the reason why the majority of the people are not CEOs of companies is because they Monday morning quarterbacks and they do the same thing that they do when it comes to whether or not LeBron James should have passed or he should have shot the jump shot, right? They think that they know, but they truly don't really understand what it takes in order to be an administrator, in order to be a faculty member, in order to be a teacher, and they don't know what they go through. I see people every day, just regular everyday public schools, and they criticize teachers or they criticize principals or they criticize faculty members, but they don't truly understand what it takes in order to really be able to teach somebody's kids, or what you go through when it comes to fundraising, or what's happening when it comes to building administration or hiring the right employees and so on and so forth. And the reason why these people are in the positions that they're in is not necessarily because they're bad at their jobs, is because the chain of command goes up. So if you want to hold somebody accountable, then you got to go up the ladder, not down the ladder. You can't blame the faculty. You can't blame the administrator for making them $100,000. You can't blame the CEO of the company, because they are then governed by the board. They are governed by the shareholders. And so to determine whether or not a company is doing well or determines whether or not somebody's doing good at their job, you'd have to know all of the circumstances behind it instead of playing Monday morning quarterback. So you got to be careful about that, because we don't know what these people are truly going through. In the same way that we don't know that this teacher is every day being underpaid and got to deal with being an overglorified babysitter, and instead of being able to come in and do their job, we going to say, well, it's bad teachers. In reality, if you really start to parse it out, it's bad parents. So
Yeah.
I'd have to do more research before I make that conclusion. But to be responsible to the community, the first thing you got to do is be responsible to yourself in your own pockets.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I want, I'm what you just said. It reminds me of Disney as a corporation, right? So you have the guy that just took back over Disney, Bob Chapek. I'm sorry,
Bob Iger. Iger.
Bob Iger. Bob Iger, who
Chapek got fired. Iger is now the CEO again. He was retired and they brought him back in. Yeah.
yeah, and
I know
Bob
all about
Iger.
this. Now you really talking my talk. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. I enjoy following what happens with Disney, because as a company, I love how they've operated for at least the past 2 decades, especially under Bob Iger, because he understood what it seems like a lot of business owners and operators don't understand, which is get the best people in a position and let them rock out. Give them the ball and let them run.
Mm-hmm.
Purchasing the IPs that he purchased, and the History Channel, and Star Wars and Marvel, and
Yep.
then setting up those heads of those corporations, and I'm sorry, those subsidiaries, and
Yep.
then letting
And
them.
letting them cook up. Yep.
It, it, it seems and I've been a part of a few different companies in my career in retail and asset protection, but I've noticed that there are some mid-level managers who don't even understand that concept, and regardless of who they have to answer to, they're still failing at their jobs because they're thinking, well, I have this title, and
But
you
why are
have
they
to listen to me.
supposed to?
I'm the boss.
They're not supposed to think
So,
like this, like the way that the CEO thinks. That's why they're mid-level.
and some of them are have long careers, and then some of them it's like a revolving door based on your mentality of like, are you really here to try to to try to do a good job, or are you here just as a placeholder to get whatever money you can get and then get out before you get fired? That's what I've seen. Regardless of the other circumstances, and you're right. A lot of times it's company direction, and that's why you may fail at your job, whether you're good or you're bad at it. But yet and still, there's accountability there where you may just not be good at what you do, and that causes a detriment. If I want to bring it back full circle to Umar Johnson, while I love maybe 99.9 of what he has to say, if we're speaking strictly from a business perspective, there's a lot to be said about him as a businessman trying to open an institution.
I agree, which is why I say he's outside of his wheelhouse. He's barking up a tree that he's speaking towards. Listen, the reason that Umar Johnson can get away with saying a lot of the stuff that he says is because the majority of his audience members are not really business savvy. They don't understand the business side of being able to operate, not just from a school perspective, not just operating from a business owner's perspective, but just having a business mindset when it comes to everything, even including relationships. And so it's easy for a person like me to break down his argument, right, regardless of how many master's degrees he's got, because my lived experience as a businessman says that he is not even close to hitting the mark when it comes to understanding exactly what it takes in order to run a successful business, let alone a school. Because you still have to have a good business mindset, your ability to be able to recruit the teachers, right? Maintenance and facilities. What are the true costs? Opening up a business plan. How do you continue to fund it even when you have a funding shortfall? When you say that people are supposed to be paying tuition, which is one of his biggest business models, because he's trying to not be dependent on the federal government in order to run a school, that means that you're going to have a demographic of people that can actually afford what it is that you're asking for, when the overwhelming majority of private schools, because how do I know? I'm a big donor to one of my old private schools, University of Detroit Jesuit in Detroit, which was a phenomenal school for me, right? When they make their services available to people that are underprivileged or don't really have the resources, which is his demographic, right? They then have other donors step in place and overpay in order to substantiate that, which is one of the reasons why I give back to the school. I give back to the school so that I can then empower them to actually be able to educate people that don't have as much money but still want a great education. So I don't really think he knows what he's getting into. I know that he says that he's building his school and all of that, but let me tell you something. Even if you were to get the school open, which I don't anticipate it really happening, you're going to have to run it. And there's going to be tuition. And you don't want to be dependent on the federal government. And the demographic of people that you're serving are the people that don't really have the money to pay tuition. If we're really going to deep dive into this, I'm telling you that he does not want to sit in front of me, because I am the person that is going to ask the hard questions to him specifically. I am the person that is going to ask the hard questions to him specifically. And I am not going to edit it out. And the problem with that is it's going to make it look bad on him. And it was the smartest thing that he could have ever done, in my personal opinion. I have to give him some credit. The smartest thing that he ever could have done was to not take an interview with me. Because listen, most innovators, right? They don't go, listen, when Ben Shapiro co-founded the Daily Wire, he found a CEO that actually knew how to run a company. He didn't try to run it himself, right?
Right.
You have to put other people in position that knows more than you, instead of just talking as though you know, because you don't know how to look at things from a business perspective, right? My point is that This goes way deeper, and people don't really understand because on the surface it just sounds good. And when you can have somebody that's talking XOs, chakras, black women, consciousness, is able to cover that junk up. But in reality, everything has to be looked at from a business perspective. And people that are unwilling to humble themselves down in order to say, I don't know what I don't know, are the ones that are going to continue to ask you for hitting the Cash App and still ain't got a school within the 10 years that they said that they was going to build it.
I mean, you have a valid point. People that I look up to historically, when you talk about the most honorable Marcus Garvey, he built up his organization. He built up the Black Star Line. You talk about Elijah Muhammad, that's a businessman for your ass. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I forgot the new rules. But that's a businessman for you to be able to build up schools and have farms and have airplanes and if the best thing that you can say is, not only am I doing this for black people, but it's a non-religious institution as well. I kind of criticize Ed Reed for the same thing, which is that even if you're right, you're still wrong because you're placing ego, the ego to be able to say, well, I'm the first to be able to do it like this, or I'm the only one to do it like this.
Yeah.
But if this ain't this, then
well, think about it though. Listen, if you Umar Johnson, let's really put it in perspective. And I'm just speculating, right? If you're Umar Johnson, and for the last 10, 12, 13, 14 years, or however long it's been, you've been saying that you're going to build this school, right? And you facing a situation where you truly don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because you can't then go back and say, you know what? I don't really know what I'm doing, and this school is not really possible for me to even open or sustain, even if I do get it open. But then at the same time, you can't divest yourself against the people that actually love and support you, so you got to continue to keep the thing going. You got to keep the thing going until it just completely implodes. It's literally like a pyramid scheme, right? You can't say, well, I don't know what I'm doing and I'm not going to be able to do this, because the very thing that I said that I wasn't going to do as far as asking for donations from other institutions or getting white people or anything like this, you can't say, you know what, I was wrong, I was off, I'm done, I need to just become a public speaker or whatever. So you got to continue to live with the lie, right? At the same time, if you wanted to say you was done, then the people that was supporting you for the last decade and a half is then going to be looking at you like, what the fuck, man? You finessed me. So what can you do? What can you do? You can't say, I'm not doing it no more, because you done been in it too long, but you really don't have the business acumen to know what you're doing, which is one of the reasons why it's taking so long. What can you do? It's a house of cards.
Yeah.
It's literally a house of cards. And the only way you can do it is by humbling yourself and asking for help. And one of the reasons why the people don't really want to support him, as far as like the big donors and stuff like that, because there are millionaires and billionaires that have resources to be able to contribute. They don't want to support it because we know things from a business perspective and we can see straight through that glass door, which is why he's going to go on these smaller platforms. He can't come here. He can't stand in front of me because I'm different.
He needs you. He needs to have a conversation with you. But the question I have to you is, would you be able to have a conversation with Umar? I can remember years ago when Dr. Umar Johnson had an interview with Lord Jamar, right? And Lord Jamar began asking him questions, and they got very combative very quickly because ego took over. Where there was just a simple question of like, hey, I know somebody that opened up a school. Maybe I can get you in touch with them. And Umar's immediate pushback was, I don't need no help. I got this. I already got people on my side, and don't worry about what I'm doing from a business perspective. I got it like that. I think that it'd be perfect that Anton Daniels, this established business entity in the social media stratosphere, is able to have a very specific type of conversation with Dr. Umar Johnson. It's not about black women, like you said. It's not about relationships. It's not about chakras. It's not about the educational system. But it's about business and how you get your business up and running. That's a very specific conversation that Umar Johnson has not had, because every time that somebody engages him about the school specifically, is from an antagonistic perspective of where the school at, where the money at, and then and it goes downhill from there, as opposed to a critical conversation that two intelligent men can have. That's that's what I think that a lot of us need to see. We need to see Umar Johnson speak to somebody like Anton Daniels that can have that type of
He don't got to
critical,
speak to me.
nuanced
Honestly,
dialogue.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't believe that I'm the end all be all either. Like, he don't have to speak to me. I would just like him. I
Yeah,
would listen.
right now.
All we got to do.
Like
This is the
you.
beautiful thing about it. This is the beautiful thing about life, right? No matter what somebody tells you today, eventually, the truth comes out, good or bad, right? If a woman says that a man did something against her, no matter if it took 30 years, that DNA evidence is going to say one thing or another, right? If a dude said that he got money and he got to the bag, it's only so long that he can brag about that before everything just comes imploding and falling down. Or he's going to continue to be successful. He's going to continue to build, right? You can't hide forever. So I'm not saying that he's right. I'm not saying that he's wrong. But what I am saying is that the same way that we've been waiting for the last 10, 12, 14 years, we just going to wait and see what happens. It's all going to come to the light either way. Eventually, everything shows itself to be whatever it is. You can't hide forever. Eventually, all of the stripes is going to come out. So we just going to wait and see. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's right. But I'm willing to bet on me. I'm willing to bet on how it is that I see things from a business perspective, because you can't finesse out of the business. In the same way that we'll see. We just gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens.
All right, well, I appreciate it. Best of luck to him.
Thank you for coming up, my
Thank you.
friend.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. See, y'all? See that? We can have a disagreement or a different perspective, or come to a conclusion where we see things to where ain't nobody necessarily got to go at each other. I meet energy with energy. If you come up here respectfully and you have a you know what I'm saying, a good sentiment and all of that other type of stuff, I may agree with you, I may disagree with you, but I'm still going to respect you. And I want to hear what you got to say, and I'm going to give you the floor and all of that. But he was the only brave soul that was willing to come up. Let me read these super chats because I absolutely want to acknowledge y'all. My dog Kojak said, just sent you an email about Ed Reed, bro. There's 2 links to videos about the situation. I'm going to break that down tomorrow, Kojak. Thank you, man. I appreciate you for sending me that and giving me that insight. You always been holding me down. I've known Kojak literally since 9th grade in high school. Everything that I am, Kojak would hold me accountable if I wasn't who I was, and he would say, yo, nah, Anton, I don't know about that. There's people in here that has known me since I was 14 years old. Shout out to my dog Kojak. The might be risky says, talk your ish, playboy. You know I'm gonna do what I do. Shout out to Chike Auto LLC. Says, I have listened to you for a year now, and I can say I trust you, Mr. Anton. I need your input on my business, and I need your email address so I can send you a email. Also, how do I join the A1 team? Send me an email, Chike, at antondaniels413@gmail.com. It's antondaniels413@gmail.com. And we're going to go from there, my friend. Thank you for the 10 ball. I appreciate you, bro. Let me see. TL31 says, when do the $50 Patreon open back up? I'm going to have to talk to my wife about that. I might have to open up the Patreon for the bag chasers. I will say this, though. If you are not a part of the $15 tier, you will not be able to join into the seat at the table. So the seat at the table will only open up if I open it up after I talk to my people. Based off of you already being a part of the bag chaser. So shout out to you, TL31. Good question. I like that. Tyra just smiled, says, wow, preach, good word. Thank you, Tyra. I appreciate you. Says, let the church say amen. Jesus. This is a good stream. I have fun jumping in at night. Take me back to the days when we was at after hours with Anton Daniels. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Good stuff, y'all. Good stuff, y'all. So we back at it. Tomorrow night. Oh my God. I wish I could show y'all. I literally wish I could show y'all what Rita just sent me. Watch this. You know I'm on a live stream, right?
Yeah, I know.
So why you texting me all of this nasty stuff?
Because I'm wondering, when are you coming home?
Why you waiting on me to come home?
Grown people stuff.
You can't be trying to distract me while I'm on a live stream texting me all of this supposedly grown people stuff.
You've been gone all day.
I've been working. What you whining about me going on? You know what I do.
I know.
Why you waiting on me to come home? Look, you got me playing in the background. You really are watching the stream.
Of course.
Where's Leslie at? What's she doing?
She's in her room doing her homework.
Oh, so you being a good mother. Okay.
I am.
All right, I'm going to talk to you later. I got to go. Bye. Y'all not going to sit here and tell me that you can't be successfully married for almost 20 years. I listen, I love my life. I love my business. I love my wife. I love my daughter. God has really, really blessed me. He has really, really taken care of me. And more importantly, God has blessed me with you guys. God has blessed me with you guys. You guys are my heart. You are my tribe. You my people. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Bag Chasers. Shout out to Alpha Juice Company. Shout out to Teege Hanley. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I would not be anything without you online. Shout out to Terrell. Terrell says, how can we get a one-on-one coaching session? I also have smoke for you, always talking about men who play video games. And then he got the raccoon photo on his avatar. Email me if you need to get in touch with me personally. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com, and I'm gonna set you up with a Zoom call or a personal call. Look at Q. Tell Rita. Q said, hi, take your at home. I'll be in the studio cooking up. Listen, I've been up here since 6 a.m. 6 a.m., which means I got up at 4:30. I got down here by 6 a.m. and I've been working all day long. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Again, thank you guys for tapping into the Millionaire Morning Show. I am about to go home and spend some time with my family before I tap in with y'all tomorrow. We back at it tomorrow. I might move the show up a half hour. So instead of 11:30 Eastern, I might do it 11 Eastern. I don't know. I'm going to figure that out. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor, and I love you, Q. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will always be super appreciative of you guys because you are my lifeblood. You are my family. You are my heart. Hit a like for the YouTube algorithm on your way out the door. Make sure you share this with your family and friends because we don't want to be rich by ourselves. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace.